I was out there warming up, and I kind of had this one, a feeling and just kind of something that bothered me while I was doing the motion before doing full kickoffs. As soon as I let them know, they were definitely alarmed, and I didn't even get to do the kickoff session that day. Right away, they told me that I needed a couple scans to make sure everything was okay. And then after that, I was out with my wife, and the doctor calls me and lets me know what was going on. And honestly, it was a crazy experience, to say the least. When I found out, my wife obviously broke down, but it's tremendous, to be honest, to be able to have people around me, and starting with my wife, family members, and then all my teammates in that locker room, man. I can't thank them enough for all the support, text messages, anything I needed. They were like, man, if you need anything, I'm here. Chris Ballard was right there with me the whole time. Frank Wright, Mr. Urson, the whole family. I don't want to leave anybody out, but I got so many messages, even around the league, from players from other teams, and it was crazy, because I don't think I would have been able to do it without everybody's support that texted me and prayed for me and reached out throughout that process. But here I am, and I was just trying to be optimistic. I definitely, my mind went into a different place when that happened. But I'm kind of an optimistic guy, so I definitely was like, you know what, we're gonna get through this, and thankfully I was able to finish off the season, and it was just I guess a crazy route.
Came back into camp, went to go get my first COVID test, and saw that it was a presumptive positive. So I reached out to our head trainer, Eric Sugarman, and said, what does this mean? And we just played like it was a positive, and took the necessary precautions that the NFL all mandated we'd take. So, I kept getting tested negative, and they just still wanted to just go through the those other tests that I needed to get done after like I would have tested positive. So I got an echocardiogram. And then they wanted to see an MRI. So they obviously saw something on the echo that was not right. So I ended up getting an MRI, and without really even knowing what the case was, because I didn't really want to jump into something and tell me what had happened or what was going on with me. So when I came back from the MRI, they said that the echo showed that my heart was 3 times the size of a normal heart. I had a bicuspid aortic valve. So instead of having 3 flaps in that valve, I had 2, and one of them was longer than the other. So when they open up to let the blood flow through my body, when they close, it'd slide down and slip, and blood would regurgitate back into my heart. So my heart was producing almost 8.5 quarts of blood instead of 5 like a normal heart, because the brain just tells the body what it needs. So with that, like a muscle, my heart was working harder. It was growing, and so it just wasn't. In the end, my body wasn't efficient. It wasn't producing the way it should have. So that's kind of how it started, and I ended up getting open heart surgery like a month later, and on the 24th of August, I went out to Philadelphia, UPenn, and got the surgery, and came back and really tried. I just wanted to be around the team as much as possible. Spent the rest of the season in the facility. I think anytime injuries happen, it can be a lonely time, just feeling like you're not a part of something. You're kind of just focused on getting yourself back. And so I just wanted to be around the team, and the Vikings organization was I couldn't thank them enough. They just treated this whole entire situation with such respect for me, and just helping me out, and making this whole process a lot easier, because from the top to the bottom, they just were welcoming. They were just really positive for me, and just to be around, and just encouraged me to just continue to try and get better. And again, I can't thank them enough. So here we are today.